Chen Mo's dad told him a wife has to be raised from childhood, and this guy actually fell for it. For 18 years, he was basically a personal nanny and punching bag for the crying girl next door. But right after graduation, the school heartthrob pulls up with roses to confess his love to her. Literally everyone turns to look at Chen Mo, and you just know they are waiting to watch him get humiliated. Everyone is basically waiting for the school's biggest simp to die of absolute embarrassment right then and there. But she does not even look at the guy. She just frowns at Chen Mo and says she is hungry and wants to go home. Talk about an absolute plot twist. Chen Mo is stunned, the rival is stunned, and the entire school is speechless. She actually grabs his arm and shakes it, demanding to know if he hurt her because she wants his sweet and sour ribs. Honestly, at this point, Chen Mo is probably wondering if he should make those ribs extra sour today. Okay, so Chen Mo's dad is kind of a wild character, always preaching that wives need to be raised from childhood. He told him he would end up single forever otherwise, and our main character, hook, line, and sinker, believed him. Which is why he spent over 10 years acting as a nanny, bodyguard, and punching bag for his crying neighbor. Then graduation hits, and the school's most popular guy shows up with a massive bouquet of roses for her. Everyone instantly turns to look at Chen Mo with nothing but pure schadenfreude in their eyes. They're all just waiting for this legendary simp to suffer the ultimate public humiliation. But she completely ignores the hot guy. She just looks at Chen Mo, pouting that she is hungry and wants to go home. Chen Mo looks at her, acting like this is totally normal, and then glances at the poor guy holding the flowers. He is low-key thinking that maybe those sweet and sour ribs should be cooked with a whole lot of extra vinegar.
Now, when the final bell of the college entrance exam rings,
it is like injecting the entire school with a massive dose of pure adrenaline. The campus instantly turns into absolute chaos, with papers and books flying everywhere. Old study guides are being tossed out of every single window like snow. Everyone is screaming and cheering, ready to head straight to the internet cafes for an all-nighter. Talk about pure freedom. Our main character is named Chen Mo. Right now, he is currently getting squeezed through the crowd like a literal sardine. Honestly, he does not have any crazy graduation goals. He just wants to go home and play some video games. Maybe sleep for 20 hours straight. But his childhood friend, Su Youwei, clearly has other plans.
She quietly tugs on the edge of his shirt, pouting her lips and looking exactly like a sad little kitten. She tells him she is thirsty, and he just sighs. He immediately reaches into his backpack and pulls out a bottle of water he already unscrewed for her.
He hands it over, telling his princess to enjoy as she starts taking tiny sips.
Her big, pretty eyes keep looking around the crowd, almost like she's searching for someone. Every single guy in the area has their eyes glued to her, but then they glare at him. Their jealous looks feel like actual daggers stabbing his face, but he is totally used to it by now. Honestly, you cannot even blame them because Su Youwei is just effortlessly beautiful. She has that perfect mix of cute and innocent with skin as white as milk. Just standing there, she is literally the ultimate dream girl for every guy in the entire school. Meanwhile, Chen Mo is just the dark cloud standing next to her, basically acting as her personal assistant. She whines that she is hungry again, and he already knows the drill. He smoothly reaches into another pocket and pulls out her absolute favorite strawberry mousse. When she complains about the sun being too hot, he immediately calls her his boss and opens an umbrella. He completely accepts his fate, shielding her from every single ray of sunlight. Honestly, this has been their exact dynamic since they were literally toddlers. It is all because of his chaotic dad, Chen Yu, who once pointed at a crying baby Su Youwei. His dad once told him with a dead serious look, "Son, see that? That is your future wife. You have to lock it down from childhood, or some random pig is going to steal her later." And our boy actually fell for it, so whenever Su Youwei cried, he got super defensive. Whenever she was hungry, he fed her. Whenever she got bullied, he was the first to step up. He basically acted as her free live-in nanny and personal bodyguard for over a decade. And the payoff? To the entire school, Chen Mo became the absolute definition of a textbook simp. We are talking about the ultimate simp who loses everything. Honestly, people were literally betting behind his back. They betted on when Su Youwei would dump him. He honestly thought he had until college. But man, did it happen fast. Out of nowhere, a massive stir broke out in the crowd. The crowd parted like the Red Sea, and the school's biggest superstar made his grand entrance. It was the school heartthrob, Lin Yufan, holding a massive bouquet of red roses, heading straight for them. This guy looks decent, but possesses major fake energy, and rumors say his family is loaded. He is great at basketball and basically the ultimate dream guy for countless girls on campus. Naturally, that supposedly included Su Youwei. At least that is what the school forums were whispering. Oh man, Chen Mo is definitely sweating here. This looks like a public confession about to happen. He instinctively looked over at Su Youwei, but her face was completely blank. She just slowly sipped her water, but the gossiping crowd around them was already losing their minds. Oh my god, he is actually going for it! A graduation confession? Lin Yufan is built different. Stealing the girl right in front of Chen Mo? Bro, this is a straight-up public execution. Look at Chen Mo. His face is literally turning green. The cabbage he raised is finally getting eaten. Every single eye in the crowd locked onto our poor main character like absolute searchlights. We are talking a mix of pity, mockery, and the pure thrill of watching drama go down. Honestly, the secondhand embarrassment is so real. He wanted to curl his toes and sink into the earth. Like, did he forget to check his daily horoscope? Lin Yufan stops right there, 3 meters away. He does not even spare Chen Mo a glance, treating him like literal, invisible air. Instead, he stares affectionately at Su Youwei, raising his voice just enough to carry. It is loud enough for everyone to hear. Youwei, now the college entrance exams are finally over. I can finally tell you the words I have kept hidden deep in my heart for 3 years. I like you. Please be my girlfriend. He thrusts the roses forward, and the air instantly freezes on the spot. Everyone is literally holding their breath, waiting to see how she responds. But let us be real, most of them are just waiting to watch Chen Mo die of pure embarrassment. You can even hear people whispering a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Our boy takes a deep breath. He is basically ready to pack his bags and skip town on the very next flight. But what Su Youwei does next is about to completely break everyone's brains. She does not even glance at Lin Yufan or his ridiculous giant bouquet of roses. She just looks up, locking her clear eyes directly onto Chen Mo. Her brows furrow even tighter. Then, with the entire school staring at them, he speaks in this totally casual. He yells over to Chen Mo, "Let's go home, I'm hungry." The entire crowd goes dead silent for 3 whole seconds. Everyone's face just completely freezes, like someone hit the pause button. The haters, the trolls, the ones waiting for drama, they are all hit with pure, unadulterated shock, capitalized and bolded. Lin Yufan is stuck holding his roses, his romantic smile totally ruined. Looking completely ridiculous, the school hunk's mouth twitches. He looks like he's trying to confirm if he's hallucinating, but Su Youwei completely ignores him. Instead, she just tugs on Chen Mo's shirt and asks if he's even listening. She pouts that she's hungry and wants his sweet and sour pork, extra sugar, less vinegar. Her voice is soft and sweet, not loud at all. But it hits the crowd like an absolute bomb. Chen Mo can feel everyone staring at them like literal spotlights. Instantly switching from pitying a simp to asking what on earth is going on. Chen Mo is internally screaming, wondering if this girl is seriously playing with him? Out of all the ways to reject the most popular guy in school, asking him to go home and cook basically tells everyone he's her personal butler. Talk about a complete social death for our main character. He just got upgraded from a rejected simp to an official family chef. Looking at Su Youwei's innocent face, Chen Mo highly suspects this is pure revenge. Probably because he didn't get her those limited edition strawberries this morning. Talk about petty. He clears his throat, desperately trying to break the heavy tension. The vibe is incredibly awkward, so he decides to take the initiative. To save his remaining dignity, he asks Su Youwei if she is done playing around, pointing out that the top student, Lin Yufan, is currently confessing to her. He tells her it's rude to ignore him while winking frantically at her. His eyes are pleading for her to just reject or accept the guy already. Just leave him out of it. But of course, things never go smoothly. Su Youwei completely misses the hint and looks even more annoyed.
Her lips pout and her eyes instantly well up with tears.
She asks Chen Mo if he's seriously refusing to cook for her now, asking if he finds her annoying, and yep, she is using her ultimate weapon again. She has mastered this since childhood, and whenever she makes that face, Chen Mo never wins. Meanwhile, the crowd starts whispering in absolute shock. They can't believe the school beauty rejected the hunk just to go home and eat. And she wants Chen Mo to cook? This is actually crazy. Is he her secret boyfriend and not a simp? No way, he's not that guy. At best, he's just her personal chef, which makes Chen Mo's head hurt. But the one hurting the most is definitely Lin Yufan, whose face is turning purple. He is getting publicly ignored, and it's making him look like a total clown. This silent treatment is worse than a rejection, and he finally snaps. He shoves the unlucky bouquet of roses into his lackey's hands. Stepping forward, he glares directly at Chen Mo. His voice is dripping with pure rage, asking if he's proud of himself. Chen Mo just shrugs with an innocent look, wondering what there is to be proud of. He says he's literally just a cook, but Lin Yufan screams at him to stop acting dumb. Lin Yufan growls, demanding answers. Who does this broke sidekick think he is, standing next to Su Youwei? He asks if Chen Mo even has 500 yuan to his name. And here it is, the classic arrogant villain speech. Just the usual trick of throwing money around, and Chen Mo honestly cannot be bothered. At this point, Chen Mo just grabs Su Youwei, wanting to head out for dinner. He tells her not to waste time on idiots, but Lin Yufan yells at him. Completely triggered, Lin Yufan snatches Chen Mo's shoulder and tries to hold him back. He straight up tells Chen Mo to back off because he is not on her level. Lin brags he can give her the best luxury life, designer bags and supercars, while Chen Mo can only offer her a cheap bowl of homemade pork ribs. He gets so heated that his spit is literally flying all over the place. He pleads with Su Youwei to wake up and not get scammed by a broke loser. He promises her the world, but here is the thing, he cannot even finish. Because Su Youwei, the girl Chen Mo always thought was just a crybaby, someone who only knew how to act cute, does something that shocks everyone. She does something that completely drops everyone's jaws as she lets go of his sleeve and steps right up. She silently walks right up to Lin Yufan and raises her hand high. And then, boom, a sharp, loud slap echoes across the entire school plaza. The entire place goes dead silent. If the crowd was confused before, now they are frozen. At this point, even Chen Mo's jaw is on the floor from pure shock. Like, is this really the sweet, innocent girl he knows? Since when does she fight like this? Not to mention, she just folded the school hunk. Lin Yufan grabs his cheek. Completely stunned, staring at Su Youwei like he cannot believe what just happened. Humiliated and shocked, he can only stare. Meanwhile, Su Youwei just shakes her slightly reddened hand, looking totally unbothered. And that usual cute, soft vibe of hers completely vanishes into thin air. She replaces it with this cold, savage, and indifferent glare that Chen Mo has never seen before. Her voice is actually quiet, but it carries this insane, absolute final boss energy that demands respect. First off, his name is Chen Mo, not some broke loser. Second, those ribs he cooks are a delicacy that people like you could never afford in your entire lifetime. And third, which is the absolute biggest point of all, she pauses, turning around to lock eyes with Chen Mo for a second, before looking back at Lin Yufan to deliver the line of the century, speaking clear and slow. She tells him that even if he brings his own grandfather here, nobody has the right to disrespect her boyfriend. Boyfriend? Nah, that is insane. Chen Mo feels like his brain just got hit by a nuke. Just straight up blank. Complete system overload. Like, when on earth did he become her boyfriend? Did this simp really just secure the bag without even trying? If her slap was crazy, that boyfriend line is a straight-up earthquake. We are talking a level 18 tsunami of absolute shock hitting everyone on a scale they have never seen before. Every single student standing in that plaza is completely frozen, totally blown away. All those haters who were waiting to laugh at Chen Mo are now standing there with their jaws dropped. Their faces are pure comedy. Honestly, their minds are fully blown right now. Their entire worldview is literally collapsing right in front of them. Wait, Did the top school beauty actually just claim Chen Mo as her boyfriend?
Ain't no way! The author really cooked with this plot twist. My mind is completely blown.
Like, is it April Fool's? Because there's absolutely no shot this is a real thing.
So the simp they clowned for 3 whole years is actually a hidden king this entire time?
Talk about a massive backfire. Meanwhile, the guy at the center of this mess?
Lin Yufan is completely broken. Holding his stinging red cheek, he just stands there in absolute shock.
Staring blankly with his mouth wide open. This is peak entertainment.
Lin Yufan clearly has not recovered from the double blow of getting beaten and rejected.
The way he looks at our main character is just pure venom,
mixed with deep disbelief, as if silently screaming, "How is this even possible?"
Like, how on earth could this broke nobody win the goddess? Honestly, even our main character is wondering that.
He looks down at his clothes, cheap stuff from a street stall worth less than 200 yuan. Then he looks up at the absolutely glowing Su Youwei standing right in front of him. The visual contrast between these two is just too crazy.
Seriously, it looks like a big-budget CEO drama where a random delivery guy just accidentally wandered onto the set.
He quietly tugs Su Youwei's sleeve and whispers, "Hey, did you forget your meds today?"
What nonsense are you talking about? Since when did I become your boyfriend?
Su Youwei just rolls her eyes back at him, her gaze basically telling him to shut up. Then she immediately shifts back to her usual Ice Queen persona and drops the ultimate ultimatum on the still frozen Lin Yufan.
Apologize? Lin Yufan stammers, acting like he completely misheard her.
Apologize to my boyfriend? Su Youwei demands, her tone leaving absolutely no room for debate.
For every single word you just said. Suddenly, Lin Yufan bursts out into a crazy laugh.
His laughter is full of desperate rage. She wants him to apologize to this nobody? Su Youwei, are you completely out of your mind? What even is this guy? What can he even give you? He screams hysterically, pointing right at Chen Mo. My dad is on the board of the Lin Group, and our family is worth tens of millions. I drive a BMW, and you're seriously telling me to do this? You want me to apologize to this broke loser who cannot even afford a cheap electric scooter?
Believe it or not, with just a single word from me,
I can make sure his entire family cannot survive in this city anymore. Now, this is wild. Bro went from failed confession straight to death threats. The surrounding students back away in fear. Terrified of getting caught in the crossfire, at this point, Chen Mo frowns. He pulls Su Youwei right behind his back, even though he has no idea what she is playing at. But letting a girl take the heat and get threatened on his account? No shot. He cannot stand by and watch. Lin Yufan, if you have a problem, bring it to me.
Do not make things hard on a girl, Chen Mo says with a cold stare.
Oh, look at you playing the hero, Lin Yufan sneers, seeing him step up. His laugh gets even more mocking. How are you going to save her, Chen Mo, with those hands you cook with?
Let me tell you, neither of you is walking away today without giving me what I want. With that, his group of low-life henchmen surround them, looking ready for a fight.
It looks like they are actually gonna throw hands. The tension is crazy right now. Our main character is quickly calculating his chances of protecting Su Youwei if they break out. He might look pretty skinny, but he definitely knows how to scrap. After all, he spent his childhood fighting off bullies to protect this crying girl. But honestly, Su Youwei is way calmer. She peeks her head out from behind him,
staring at the completely unhinged Lin Yufan with absolutely zero fear in her eyes.
Instead, her gaze is just filled with pure pity. Yes, actual pity. Like she is looking at a totally clueless and pathetic little clown. She casually pulls out her phone and slowly dials a number. The call goes through immediately, and she even puts it on speaker. Is that Uncle Wang? A deep, steady, middle-aged voice answers from the other end. The voice on the other end is incredibly respectful, asking what she wants. Su Youwei casually asks Uncle Wang to look up a company called the Lin Group. Just hardware, totally flat. Like she is just talking about the weather, leaving Lin Yufan stunned. He scoffs, asking if she is digging into his background, and warns her it is too late. But before he can even finish bragging, the phone rings again. Insane speed. Uncle Wang reports the Lin Group is only worth $80 million.
Their 60% debt is bad, and Tianju Real Estate is their main buyer. Most of their business. Their chairman even tried to meet her dad last week but got rejected. Su Youwei hums and says she understands. She hangs up. She looks at Lin Yufan, whose arrogant face has completely crumbled. Fear and pure shock take over because Tianju Real Estate is a literal titan. The biggest giant around. A single move from them makes the entire economy shake. His dad would do anything to please them, and Su Youwei owns it. Shaking, he asks if it is hers, but she ignores him. She drops a devastating bomb instead. She states they are permanently cutting all cooperation with his family business. Seeing him turn pale, she stays cold. Absolutely ruthless. She mentions his dad has tax evasion dirt she will send illegal. She brings up his threat to kick her out of town. A mocking smile appears. She tells him to vanish with his dad before 9 a.m. tomorrow. Or face the consequences. No more talking. She grabs our main character's hand and they walk away unchallenged. The crowd parts like the Red Sea to let them through. Just pure terror. Our main character is dragged along like a total puppet. He is completely stunned. He stares at this tiny girl barely reaching his shoulder. Talk about a massive twist. His childhood crybaby is a secret boss. The ride home is completely silent and incredibly tense. He pedals his squeaky old bicycle. She sits on the back, holding his shirt. They have done this for 10 years. Not today. He feels like a massive monster is sitting right behind him. Riding fast. He pedals like crazy so she does not make him vanish next. The whole school plaza showdown is still playing in slow motion in Chen Mo's head. Especially that final look on Lin Yufan's face. Pro looked absolutely devastated, way worse than just a bad day. His dad is going bankrupt, and his lackeys are too terrified to even breathe. They basically drag him through the crowd. Meanwhile, Chen Mo is just standing there, a totally broke average student. But somehow he just got the ultimate overpowered main character treatment. Truly wild. He feels less like the hero and more like a sidekick holding a cheat code. Suddenly, Su Youwei speaks up from the back of his bike. It scares him so bad he almost crashes into the bushes. What does she need? She tells him to slow down because it is too bumpy. Her voice is super soft again. Her transition from Final Boss Queen earlier feels like a hallucination. Chen Mo immediately slows down to a turtle's pace. After a quiet moment, she speaks up again. She asks if he has questions. Honestly, he has a million. Like, does she not live in his rundown neighborhood? Is her dad not just some random retired guy who fishes and reads the paper all day? And her mom is just a basic housewife? How did she suddenly become the heiress to Tianju Real Estate? Plus, when did they start dating? Did he miss a memo? He definitely never got the notification, but he's too scared to ask. He is terrified of her reaction. The look that says, "You know too much," followed by massive bodyguards. He is not trying to get stuffed into a container and thrown in the ocean. No way. He claims he would never pry. He is just her cook, whose only job is making sweet and sour ribs. And maybe adding extra vinegar, emphasizing the jealousy. Su Youwei laughs and playfully punches him in the back. It is incredibly weak. She teases him for being a coward, but he stays quiet. Why wouldn't he be? One phone call wiped out a multi-million-dollar company, which is absolutely insane. Then she quietly apologizes, which completely catches him off guard. She did not mean to hide it. Her parents wanted her to have a normal childhood. They wanted her to make real friends, not gold diggers chasing her wealth. That is why they lived here and kept things low-key. Only the principal and Chen Mo know the truth. Well, he definitely knows now. Are you mad at me? She asks him, sounding super anxious. Our boy just sighs, saying he is not really angry. But honestly, he is shocked. It is like raising a pet cat for 10 years. Only for it to suddenly look up and say it is actually Ultraman from Nebula M78. Who wouldn't be totally confused? Seriously, he is not mad. He is just having a hard time processing this like a crazy dream. So, what about that whole boyfriend thing? She whispers, sounding even more timid.
Her voice is barely a squeak, asking if he is upset about it. He goes totally silent. I mean, how do you even answer that?
Saying no would make him look so ungrateful, like he basically just scored a gorgeous girlfriend. And she is filthy rich, too. Talk about his family lineage hitting the absolute jackpot. Let's be real, most guys would be celebrating, but something still feels off to him.
This sudden relationship update has our boy completely unprepared. They walk home in absolute silence, living right across the hall from each other.
In their old-school apartment building, he pulls out his keys to unlock his door. Su Youwei follows him right inside, which is honestly nothing new.
For over 10 years, she has practically lived at his place. She spends more time here than at her own home, especially with his unreliable dad.
The man is always missing, leaving our boy home alone most of the time. He changes his clothes, heads into the kitchen, ties on an apron, and starts prepping. Su Youwei grabs a tiny stool and plops herself right at the kitchen doorway.
She hugs her knees and stares at him, her huge eyes locked onto his every move.
She looks like a stray cat waiting for food, her powerful boss aura completely gone.
Seeing her like this makes him feel totally self-conscious.
He is like, "Hey, princess, could you maybe stop staring?"
It is a lot of pressure, and he might accidentally swap the salt and sugar. Don't blame him if the dinner is ruined. Silence fills the room before she nudges him.
He tries to play dumb, but she calls him out on the boyfriend thing.
Her cheeks turn bright red as she stammers, "If you really don't want to."
She can explain everything to Lin Yufan, saying she just panicked and made it up.
Her voice fades to a whisper as her head drops, looking incredibly small. No lie, seeing her look so pitiful instantly melts his heart. No matter how rich she actually is, to him, she is still just his best friend. The same old crybaby who always needs him to look out for her. Old habits die hard. He blanches the pork ribs and drains them well. He heats up the oil and the meat hits the pan with a loud, satisfying sizzle. The delicious aroma quickly fills the kitchen as he keeps stir-frying, lost in thought. He tries to act casual and asks what she would have done without that lie.
Was she actually going to accept Lin Yufan?
Hearing this, her head snaps up instantly. She shakes her head wildly, promising she has zero feelings for the guy. He raises an eyebrow. Then how does she explain those school rumors about her 3-year crush? And what about that bottle of water? She quickly blushes, saying that water was actually for him. She was just too shy to hand it to him directly on the basketball court. She stammers out her explanation, her face turning completely red. And just like that, his jealousy completely vanishes. The author is cooking with this chemistry.
So that was actually the case. Our boy finally gets it. Like, there is absolutely no way this girl's feelings could hide from him.
The ribs are frying up golden brown, so he drizzles in some cooking wine. He adds soy sauce and pours in his custom sweet and sour blend. The sweet and sour aroma instantly takes over the whole house while he lets it simmer on low heat. Turning around, he leans back against the stove, watching Su Youwei sit on her tiny stool. Under the light, her face is totally flushed, looking super nervous but low-key expectant.
Suddenly, he realizes she is actually adorable, whether she is just Su Youwei or a rich heiress.
After wiping his hands, he walks over and kneels down right in front of her. Looking straight into her eyes, he seriously tells Su Youwei to listen up carefully. He asks her just once if she actually meant what she said earlier.
Su Youwei gets totally flustered by his intense gaze, nervously fidgeting with her hands.
Her eyes are darting everywhere because she cannot make eye contact with him. She stammers and stutters for a solid minute without saying anything real. Her face is completely red like a ripe apple, even blushing down to her ears. He sighs, thinking about how savage this girl usually is out in public. Yet she instantly turns into a shy little bird around him. Where did that fierce energy go? But he just tells her he gets it.
He stands up, preparing to head back to the stove.
Those ribs will burn if he waits, but then she screams that she is serious. Her tearful shout stops him in his tracks as he spins back around to look. Su Youwei is standing up now, her eyes completely red with tears. Tears are welling up as she cries that she meant every single word. She confesses she has liked him for a very, very long time now. It feels like she used every bit of her strength just to scream that out. And immediately, her tears start falling like a broken string of pearls.
They are pouring down, and our boy absolutely hates seeing her cry.
It has been like this since they were kids. She cries and he folds. He quickly rushes back, panicking as he tries to wipe her tears away.
Then he asks why she is crying when he never even rejected her. She sobs and calls him out for having such a bad attitude. She tells him he looked annoyed and probably thought she was just playing. Our guy helplessly explains that he was absolutely not playing with her. He was literally just worried about the ribs, but she asks who is more important. She glares at him with puffy eyes, completely pouting as she asks. Talk about a trap question, but looking at her tear-stained face, all of his remaining doubts and hesitation completely melt away.
I mean, the girl he basically grew up with is literally offering herself to him.
If he does not make a move now, he is actually throwing. So our boy finally decides to take action. He gently pinches her nose and tells her she is the most important. Then he leans in close and whispers in her ear. Our MC asks his new girlfriend if she can finally stop crying. He says her boyfriend is heartbroken, making Su Youwei instantly stop crying.
She just stands there completely frozen, staring at him in disbelief.
Tears are still clinging to her long eyelashes. It takes her a few seconds to react, before she finally realizes what he just said and pure joy explodes in her eyes. A blush instantly spreads all the way down her neck as she suddenly dives right into his chest.
She wraps her arms tight around his waist, burying her face against him. She quietly agrees, her voice completely muffled. She sounds so stuffed up and incredibly happy. He just smiles and pats her back.
Honestly, it is pretty funny. If he did not agree, her tears would have flooded the place. She cuddles closer into his chest, acting exactly like a spoiled little kitten. No takebacks, she says. No takebacks, pinky promise.
How old are you to still be playing this? He jokes.
But he still hooks his pinky anyway. Just as they are playing out this dramatic, emotional farewell, a horrible burnt smell wafts from the kitchen. They both freeze. Oh no, his ribs! He dashes straight to the stove and rips the lid off. A huge cloud of black smoke hits him. The ribs inside are completely ruined, gone from sweet and sour to pitch black charcoal. Talk about being absolutely toasted. Su Youwei walks over, staring down at this literal disaster of a dish. Her expression is pretty complicated. He tells her to stay silent.
Just let me grieve in peace, he says, clutching his chest.
The pain is real. He bought these premium ribs specifically for her. They cost 30 yuan a pound. Watching him look so devastated, Su Youwei cannot help but giggle. She wraps her arms around him from behind. Resting her chin on his shoulder, she whispers that it is totally fine that they are burnt.
We can just eat out, she says. But eating out costs money, he grumbles.
I will treat you, she offers, but treating him with his own money only makes him madder.
This girl has been freeloading off him forever. Her wallet literally never has more than 50 yuan in it.
But she whispers right against his ear that she has money now and can easily spoil him. It tickles, making his heart skip a beat. Honestly, getting spoiled by a rich girl? That actually does not sound too bad. He clears his throat. Trying to save his pride as the man of the house, he tells her he does not need her money.
He is a grown man, fully capable of taking care of both of them.
Even if he is currently broke, he is still about to enter college. Working part-time to support them both should be doable. Or, wait, maybe that is actually going to be pretty tough. After all, he is only just seeing the tip of the iceberg of this rich girl's lifestyle. All right, fine. You can spoil me instead, she giggles. Su Youwei clearly sees his embarrassment and quickly plays along to soothe his ego. But she insists on taking care of today's meal to celebrate their very first day together. Her big, bright eyes look up at him, filled with pure excitement. There is absolutely no way he can say no to that. Fine, he agrees. Whatever you want. She jumps up in pure joy, telling him to wait a second. She runs off to the living room to make a quick phone call. He looks down at the ruined ribs, wanting to cry. This is easily the worst disaster of his cooking career. Talk about a total Waterloo. Clearly beautiful women really are dangerous. The legends did not lie. Su Youwei runs back in after finishing her call, happily announcing that a car is already on its way. Wait, what car? He blinks. Where exactly are they eating?
Wait, Why do they need a car? Is the local noodle place next door not good enough?
Su Youwei shakes her head with a mysterious grin, promising to take him somewhere amazing.
10 minutes later, our boy and Su Youwei are standing downstairs. Suddenly, a massive black Rolls-Royce Phantom pulls up, a total monster.
It glides to a silent halt, its polished body shining like a mirror.
Under the dim streetlights of this rundown neighborhood, it practically screams wealth. All the neighborhood elders and random passersby completely freeze in their tracks to stare. Whispers start instantly as a driver in a sleek black suit steps out. Wearing pristine white gloves, he respectfully opens the door for Su Youwei. He welcomes the young mistress and she casually steps right in. But she turns to find him frozen. "Come on," she says, "get in."
Our guy literally swallows hard. His legs are turning to straight jelly.
Worth $30 max.
What if he ruins those luxury leather seats? He cannot afford that.
But Su Youwei literally drags him into this beast that costs more than his entire apartment. The second the door shuts, all the outside noise completely vanishes. Total silence. Only their breathing. He sits there stiff as a board on the ultra-plush leather.
Hands shaking. Bedroom-sized cabin.
The floor has a thick wool carpet that feels like stepping on actual clouds. There is even a minibar stocked with high-end liquors he cannot even name. Is this even a car? It is a straight-up rolling palace. Su Youwei casually asks if he wants a drink. She is totally chill, reaching into the built-in fridge for a bottle.
Handing him a cold Perrier.
He takes it, staring at the fancy label, and realizing this water is ridiculously expensive. They are just grabbing dinner. Why this crazy flex? Are they seriously doing all this just to celebrate day one of dating? Playful wink. Of course. She grins like a cat that got the cream, and honestly, her smile is gorgeous. His nerves instantly melt away. Might as well experience the rich lifestyle. The car glides smoothly down the road. But wait, they are bypassing downtown. When he asks where they are going, she casually drops a name, Cloud Top. No shot? Cloud Top? That is the most elite and mysterious spot in the entire city.
It sits high in misty mountains.
We are talking a 5-digit bill per person, an absolute dream for regular guys. He has only ever seen this place featured in high-end food magazines, blowing his poor peasant mind. She immediately pouts and tells him to stop saying that. Su Youwei squeezes his hand. She tells him that everything of hers is now his. What a major win. No comeback for that. He is completely getting spoiled by her wealth, and he is not even mad. In fact, he is loving every second as they wind up the mountain. They finally pull up to this glowing mansion of a restaurant perched right on a cliff edge. Giant floor-to-ceiling glass windows on 3 sides show off the entire city skyline. Valet rushes over to greet them. He opens the door with pure respect as this sharply dressed guy steps up. The manager hurries over. He gives Su Youwei a deep bow and welcomes the young miss. The manager says her table is ready, and Su Youwei just nods. Then she casually grabs his arm and says she booked the absolute best spot. He gets dragged inside under the shocked and curious stares of the entire staff. They step inside, and man, the decor here is straight up palace tier. Super classy. Every single guest is dressed to the nines and acting all sophisticated. Our boy looks down at his basic t-shirt and jeans, feeling completely out of place. The manager leads them out to a private semi-open terrace. There is just one table here, set with fancy plates and flickering candles. No railings, just an infinity pool. The water perfectly reflects the starry sky above and the glowing city lights below. It feels like floating in space, and our boy is completely blown away. Seriously, proposal tier. Su Youwei pulls him to sit down and asks if he likes it. He is honest and tells her he loves it, but it must cost a fortune. But Su Youwei just shrugs and casually drops a bomb. This restaurant was her 18th birthday gift from her mom, so yeah, scratch that question. Talk about a reality check when normal 18-year-olds get cake and flowers. She gets a whole luxury cliffside restaurant. No way are people actually living like this. Soon, these insanely fancy dishes that look like actual museum art start arriving. We are talking top-shelf Australian Wagyu. Premium blue lobster, high-end caviar, the whole 9 yards. Things our boy has only ever seen on TV, so he eats super carefully. He does not want to embarrass her with bad manners, but she notices him being stiff. She keeps piling food onto his plate, telling him to eat up because he is too thin. Playfully teasing that his home cooking is great, but way too healthy. He can only laugh inwardly because honestly, who would not want to eat luxury meals every day?
But his empty wallet says no. Suddenly, a loud commotion breaks out nearby.
He looks up to see this extremely greasy, slicked-back dude. The guy's holding a glass, hitting on a gorgeous girl in an evening gown. He is being super pushy, and the girl clearly looks uncomfortable. But she is trying not to make a scene, making our boy frown in disgust. He hates trash behavior like this, and Su Youwei notices the drama too. She frowns and mutters about how this completely ruins the vibe. And then the greasy dude looks over.
His eyes land on Su Youwei.
Instantly, his face lights up and he literally ditches the other girl. He struts right over and our boy gets a bad feeling. Oh boy, trouble is officially here. You already know this clown is about to get folded. This random guy completely ignores Chen Mo, locking his greasy eyes on Su Youwei. He starts checking her out without even trying to hide it, asking if she is alone. Zhao Kai introduces himself, bragging about his family's massive import and export business. With a smug smile, he stretches out his hand for a forced shake. But Chen Mo is not having it, intercepting the handshake and grabbing the guy's hand instead. Chen Mo just smiles and introduces himself as her boyfriend. He says it with a total straight face while slowly crushing the guy's hand. Zhao Kai instantly winces in pain, trying to pull away, but Chen Mo's grip is like iron. He can't break free at all, snapping and asking who the hell Chen Mo is. As the guy growls to let go, Su Youwei coldly says he has zero right to know. Her voice is ice cold as she slowly puts down her knife and fork. She wipes her mouth with a napkin, calm as can be, and finally looks up. Staring straight at Zhao Kai, she says she does not care what business his family is in. Demanding he get out of her sight, her voice remains dead calm. But that calm voice carries a spine-chilling pressure, that raw, final boss energy. Zhao Kai is stunned for a second, but then gets defensive, calling her crazy for acting tough. He asks if she knows him, bragging his dad is Zhao Tianlong. Bragging that nobody in Yun City dares cross him, Su Youwei just nods. She remembers the name of the guy who knelt and begged her dad last week. The guy was begging for a land plot, and now Zhao Kai turns pale. Stammering, the guy asks how she knows, but she owns that land now. Su Youwei swirls her red wine gently, asking if he wants his dad's company ruined? Specifically to end up bankrupt like the Lin Group. Hearing that, Zhao Kai starts to shake. The Lin Group collapsed just this afternoon, and the news has already shocked the entire city. Rumor has it they offended a mysterious powerhouse who destroyed a massive corporation with one word. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect this titan to be right here. Sitting right in front of him is the literal boss. Talk about a crazy twist. He stands there frozen, cold sweat dripping down his face as the sheer terror sinks in. When Su Youwei calmly tells him to scram, Zhao Kai looks like he was just spared. Sprinting away faster than a rabbit, he leaves the dining room dead silent. Every single customer is staring at them in pure awe, completely shocked by the scene. Chen Mo silently lets go, grabbing his sparkling water to take a slow sip. He needs to calm his nerves, and honestly, that water tastes like pure luxury. This day is absolute chaos. It is more wild than his past 18 years combined. He looks across at Su Youwei. She is just casually cutting her steak, and Chen Mo realizes he hit the jackpot. If anyone dares to call him a simp again, he is fighting them on the spot. This isn't being a simp at all. This is literally a cheat code to life. Now he is basically a billionaire trophy husband in training, and it is glorious. Talk about a dramatic dinner. On the drive back home, Chen Mo rests in the back. Sitting in the back of a luxury Rolls-Royce, he feels his entire worldview being shattered. He has to rebuild his mind from scratch. He used to think rich people just lived better, just wearing designer clothes and eating at fancy spots. But he was completely wrong. Today, he learned that the ultra-wealthy hold absolute terrifying power with just a single word. One sentence is all it takes to decide the survival of entire companies and families.
Power like this is honestly terrifying, but it also feels a little distant. He sneaks a glance at Su Youwei, who is leaning back with closed eyes. She looks completely exhausted as the pale moonlight spills across her face. Her long eyelashes cast shadows, making her look like a fragile porcelain doll. Honestly, her sudden transition from a cold boss queen to this is top tier. Who is the real her? Honestly, it might be both of them. Around him, she is just a needy girl who loves to whine. A total crybaby who begs for his cooking, but in front of others? She is the fierce eldest daughter of the Su family, protecting her own. My heart low-key breaks for her here. The pressure must be unreal. She must be so exhausted. Soon the car stops near his old apartment. They both step out, and the driver respectfully asks his young mistress. He asks what time to pick her up, but she tells him to head home. Su Youwei waves him off, saying she is going out with Chen Mo tomorrow. The luxury Rolls-Royce drives off silently, leaving them behind in the old neighborhood. Peace returns, with only the dim yellow lights glowing from neighboring windows. A dog barks in the distance, and the cozy scent of home cooking fills the air. This normal life feels so grounding and safe. Honestly, that crazy dinner? It almost feels like a dream compared to the luxury they just left behind. He naturally takes her hand and tells her they should go up. Her hand feels a bit cold, so he instinctively squeezes it tighter. She doesn't pull away at all, leaning right into him instead. Resting her weight on his shoulder, she mutters that she is sleepy. She yawns sleepily. He tells her to go home, but she insists on staying at his place, asking what they will even do there since he hasn't cooked. She just wants to be near him, and he simply cannot say no. So he lets her tag along, opening his door once they get upstairs. Instantly, the familiar, cozy scent of his own apartment welcomes them inside. While he changes, Su Youwei acts like she owns the place. She grabs her own pink rabbit slippers right from his shoe cabinet. Kicking them on, she throws her bag aside and collapses. Curling up like a boneless cat, she sighs about how cozy it is. He pours her a glass of water and sits down next to her. She hums softly, resting her head in absolute comfort. He finally cannot resist asking the one question on his mind. Asking her straight up how insanely wealthy her family actually is. She blinks, thinks for a second, and honestly says she has no idea. Her dad never tells her any specific numbers. He claims girls only need to know how to spend money, nothing else. Then she drops the real kicker. Apparently, they have enough wealth to last several lifetimes. Talk about an elite flex. Honestly, this scene had me laughing out loud. Trying to recover, he asks if her parents even know about him. She nods instantly, saying her parents actually adore him. She smiles and starts counting on her fingers to explain why. She says they love his good temper, his cooking, and how he cares for people. They feel most safe leaving her in his hands. But wait, Chen Mo interrupts her right there. Su Youwei's face flushes completely red, and she instantly avoids his gaze. She stammers, asking if he gets what she means, while he is totally clueless. He presses for answers until she finally grits her teeth and goes all in. She confesses that their parents set up an arranged baby marriage for them long ago. Boom! That is a literal lightning bolt of shock hitting Chen Mo's brain. An arranged baby marriage? Seriously, what era are they even living in right now? How does this kind of feudal nonsense still exist? He points at his own nose in disbelief. His tongue is completely tied as he tries to process that they are actually betrothed. Su Youwei nods, but then she immediately panics and tells him not to worry. She says it was just the elder's decision, and if he is not down with it, they can easily call it off because she would never force him into anything. Seeing how stunned he is, she stares at him with pure anxiety, thinking she terrified him. Honestly, he is absolutely terrified, but his shock comes from a completely different realization. At this point, Chen Mo has only one crazy thought about his unreliable dad. The old bastard who always lectured him about locking down a future wife early. Ain't no way! His dad was actually telling the absolute truth this whole time? Wait, this changes everything. His dad was literally pulling off a long-term master plan. So his entire decade of acting like a loyal simp was secretly planned by his father.
This was literally a child groom cultivation program, and his entire worldview is completely shattered.
His mind is blown. This is way too much crazy information to process at once.
He holds his forehead, feeling a massive headache coming on from this plot twist.
He asks if his dad knew, and she confirms Uncle Chen definitely knew all along.
Su Youwei explains that both of their dads got absolutely wasted one night
And sealed the deal over some barbecue. Hearing this, Chen Mo nearly faints on the spot.
I did not see that coming. This had his chaotic dad's signature written all over it.
The old man sold him out completely, and he was happily helping him count the money.
Seeing how pale Chen Mo looks, Su Youwei gently nudges him to check if he is okay.
He just waves his hand, trying to keep his composure after this bombshell.
He takes a deep breath, desperately trying to process this insane family secret.
He mutters that he is fine, but he really needs to give his dad a call. His gritted teeth are so terrifying that Su Youwei instantly shrinks back, too scared to speak.
He pulls out his phone and dials the contact saved as Old Bastard.
The call rings for what feels like forever before finally connecting.
His dad's lazy voice answers over the clear sound of ocean waves and seagulls.
Hey, Brat, the big exam is over, so how did you do? If you failed, just come back and catch fish on the sea with me.
Chen Mo tries his absolute best to keep his voice calm and steady.
He asks where his dad is, and the old man casually says the Maldives.
He says he is relaxing on Uncle Su's massive private island.
Just soaking up the sun and fishing after working hard his entire life. Honestly, his dad is out there living his absolute best life.
Squeezing words through his gritted teeth, Chen Mo takes one final deep breath.
Chen Mo asks his dad, when are you coming back, and what for anyway? His dad says he trusts him with the house, then brings up Su Youwei.
Did you know about this all along? Chen Mo finally asks him.
Silence on the other end, and then his dad bursts out laughing like crazy.
Ha! Did that girl finally confess to you? Not bad, kid. You didn't embarrass me. You actually snagged a total catch.
Chen Mo is literally speechless, telling his dad to wrap it up.
Stop acting smug, his dad replies, sounding incredibly proud of himself.
He reveals both dads already planned their wedding right after graduation. He even secured a 10% share of Tianju real estate as dowry.
If that's not enough, he'll ask for more while laughing wildly on the phone.
Chen Mo feels his blood pressure rising and slams the phone down. He turns around to see Su Youwei looking completely innocent.
She blinks her huge eyes like a kid who got caught red-handed.
Honestly, what can he even say? His entire life is basically planned.
It's like those two old men arranged everything from day one. There is absolutely zero chance of him fighting back now.
Chen Mo realizes he is never going to escape her. He's completely wrapped around Su Youwei's finger, so he accepts his fate. He sighs, looks at Su Youwei, and reaches his hand out. She obediently scoots over, and he pulls her into a tight hug.
Listen up, Su Youwei. From now on, he warns her.
No more using those puppy dog eyes, and absolutely no more secrets.
And one last thing. Chen Mo pauses for a second.
He whispers playfully in her ear, if you ever dare again. To let another guy bring you water? I'll show you.
She tilts her face up curiously to ask what he'd do. Her glossy lips are right there, making his throat go dry. He answers with action as moonlight creeps in through the window. As the light falls on them, she shivers slightly in his arms. She slowly closes her eyes as they share a soft kiss.
It feels like a feather on water, but he knows it.
From this moment on, everything between them has completely changed. All right, the main story is done, but the author cooked a special epilogue.
This side story is all about sweet and sour ribs 3 years after marriage. Technically, they got registered 3 years ago, but the wedding was later.
Their dads turned the wedding into a textbook elite business merger. Over 500 guests showed up, giving them enough cash to retire early. Honestly, Chen Mo just found out his dad used to be Uncle Su's assistant. He was known as the Wall Street Wolf, but Chen Mo got 0 perks. What a scam! But honestly, their daily life hasn't changed much.
She's still that cute crybaby who wakes him up at 3 a.m.,
whispering that she's hungry, forcing him to crawl out of bed.
cooking noodles for her, and now she wants sweet and sour ribs. At 3:15 a.m., Chen Mo slowly opens his eyes. Looking at those big, watery eyes, he asks if tomorrow is okay. She wants them now, but the fridge is completely empty. 3 seconds of silence. Then her eyes tear up, calling him a liar. She saw him buy some earlier, but those are for tomorrow's lunch. She demands them right now, leaving our MC staring at her stubborn, adorable face. He sighs. Flinging the blanket off, he tells her to wait. He hears her victorious giggles echoing behind him as he ties on his apron to prep the ribs. She follows him with a little stool to sit right at the kitchen doorway, hugging her knees and watching him just like 18 years ago. Silence. Then she softly asks if he knows why she loves his sweet and sour ribs so much. Tasty? No, it's actually because it was the first thing he ever cooked for her. It was on the night her parents had a massive fight, her voice softening as she remembers being so sad. She ran straight to his place crying, and without a single question, he spent hours working away in the kitchen. He served a burnt, pitch-black dish, and honestly, their middle school backstory is too wholesome. It was his first time cooking sweet and sour ribs, and he completely butchered the heat. Holding that plate of slightly charred ribs, he stood right in front of her looking silly, telling her not to cry. He promised her delicious food, and she laughs, admitting those ribs actually tasted pretty terrible back then. Sour and bitter, yet she finished every bite, and he asks why. She looks at him and says it was the first time someone had ever cooked just for her. With shining eyes, she tells him that she decided to stick by his side forever. His hands freeze midair, so she really clung to him for over 10 whole years. She proudly agrees that her plan worked right as the ribs in the pot start sizzling. The delicious aroma fills the room, making her sniff as he tells her to wait 20 minutes. Soon, he places a steaming plate of sweet and sour ribs right onto the table. She eagerly pops a hot piece into her mouth, her eyes lighting up at how delicious it is. Sitting across from her, he can only watch her cheeks puff up with every single bite. She looks exactly like a cute hamster. He tells her to slow down before she chokes. After swallowing her food, she suddenly looks up and asks Chen Mo what they should name their future kids. Completely stunned, he asks why she is bringing this up, but she just blinks, saying she already decided. She wants to name a boy Chen Tang and a girl Chen Ku. Sugar and vinegar? Chen Mo feels his face twitches, asking if she is actually serious about this. Duh, they are adorable. She remains completely unbothered. Since they are their kids, they obviously need to be named after sweet and sour ribs. He jokingly suggests naming them Chen ribs instead, but she actually tilts her head to consider it. Seeing her actually seriously consider naming their child Chin ribs, he can only facepalm in absolute disbelief. This girl is literally marinated in sweet and sour ribs while the beautiful moonlight shines outside. As the delicious aroma lingers in the room, she keeps happily chirping away beside him. She pitches the wildest baby names, suggesting everything from Chen Sweet and Sour to even Chen Tenderloin. Even suggesting Chen Pork Belly, he just looks at her and smiles, because who would have ever thought that the emotional, crying little girl from back then would actually end up becoming his wife? Ain't no way a plate of burnt ribs secured him a wife for life. That's actual peak Riz. Catching him staring, she asks what is so funny, but he just walks over to her side. He kisses the top of her head, whispering that he will never get tired of this dish. He's never going to stop cooking it for her, and she looks up at him. Her eyes curve into beautiful crescent moons as she tells him to cook it for a lifetime. And as a wholesome little twist, they actually ended up having a beautiful baby girl. When their daughter Chen Tang was 3 years old, she suddenly ran up to her dad, Chen Mo, asking why her name was Chen Tang. He crouched down, pointing at his wife, Su Youwei, who was cooking in the kitchen. Apparently, it is because Mom loves sweet and sour ribs, but then she asks why her baby sister is named Chen Ku. Her little sister, Chen Ku, was only 1, just drooling away in her crib. Chen Mo paused for 2 seconds before whispering that her mom's brain was totally laggy that day. Right on cue, Su Youwei screams she heard that. Chen Tang covers her mouth while Chen Mo scoops her up and instantly bolts.
Su Youwei chases after them with a spatula in her hand, yelling at him to freeze. Chen Mo runs even faster while Chen Tong cracks up in his arms, laughing her head off. She cheers him on, telling him to run faster because Mom is catching up.
Under the warm sunset, this chaotic family of four is just a beautiful mess. Even their sweet old neighbor watches them from afar, laughing at how lively they are.
Perfectly lively, just perfect. The story ends right here.